Hey guys, welcome to the first recap of this season of the Yukon Nintendo Club Draft League, UNC. This week, for the gold division, we'll have Ron versus Alfie, so that'd be Vernamir versus Tactical. Two very good players, very skilled players. Very interesting teams from both of them. I'd definitely say Ron is my favorite of the two teams looking on paper. I do know the outcome, but I never actually watched the game because I caught it late. So this will kind of be more of a live reaction. And yeah, let's get right into it. See what happens here. So let's see. The battle starts. Kick his butt with Regigigas, of course, one can hope. Saran comes out with Pesimian, no nickname sadly. That's a very good lead. Could be a good pivot, especially with like a choice scarf, just because it can U-turn if it doesn't like what it sees. If it not, it can get a good attack off. Regigigas goes for Protect, makes sense. Kind of an interesting lead choice. Usually Regigigas can't get a sweep right away. That's a very interesting choice there. Pesimian goes for Knockoff. Obviously does not get it. That's a good move on Ron's part because it, no matter what he switches to, it does something nice. So obviously, like for Slowbro, right, he's going to get super effective damage and maybe knock off his item. Oh, the Irish remembered it's Mega Slowbro, right? So he's not going to knock off the item, but at least it's okay damage. I mean, he can regenerate that right off, right? But not if he Megas. Let's see. Pesimian goes to Primarina. Interesting choice, not bad at all. Can resist whatever Slowbro throws at it, right? The worst thing it can do is, yeah, basically status, like Toxic or Thunder Wave, whenever you see the Toxic. Primarina does not like that, but at least is a good position, especially since it's Mega Slowbro, where Primarina can get a nice Moonblast off and just hopefully hit something hard. But Upset is going for the Calm Mind set. Very interesting, very effective set. I do like it. I wonder how it'll work here long term with that Toxic. If he has Rest, he should be fine. Otherwise, obviously, this gets a pretty clear timer on it. Slowbro's going for healing to the surprise of no one. Yeah. I guess Primarina will fire off an attack soon. Maybe Alfie can absorb it with Regice. I guess we'll see. Oh, he's just going right from the Moonblast. Right, that's a lot of damage. Not surprising, coming off Primarina's high special attack. I'd imagine it's not full investment. I'd imagine full investment, Primarina would do even more. Interesting Amnesia comes out from Slowbro. That will really stall this back, especially if this Primarina does not have Rest. That could be a real problem. I think Slowbro can take another Moonblast now. I might be wrong. The Mega doesn't gain that much special bulk, but I think it can take one more. I guess we'll see. Goes to the Moonblast, and Slowbro barely takes it. Very nice. So I imagine it's going to slack off, right? And now Primarina is really in a hard spot if it does not have Rest, because it's just been, its setup has been basically completely riled by Slowbro, too, with Slowbro's counter setup. So that is unfortunate for Primarina, unless it can pull out the Rest. Clearly, it does not seem to have Rest, because it goes for the switch, so I'd imagine it just does not have it, or Ron's being very conservative how he's playing that set. Hydron's still in a good position, right? Especially if it has Nasty Plot, it can break through here. If it doesn't, if it's not Choice Specs or Nasty Plot, it'll be in trouble. So that looks like a Choice Specs Dark Pulse, or no, Life Orb. Okay, that's good. So we're going to go for an Amnesia or like an Ice Beam. I guess we'll... Oh, it just flinches. Okay, so if that was like a Slack Off, maybe, or an Amnesia, then I guess Slowbro could have kept slacking off, right? So that flinch is good for Ron. I don't know if that's game saving, but that's definitely really good for Ron. Goes for the Earth Power. Not really sure why. That seems like the wrong move, no matter what. I guess for D-Denny, he was really calling a switch. It's a ballsy move, but I would say that's kind of like high risk, low reward there, because Slowbro could just get another slack off easy if it hadn't. I don't know. Let's see. So Regigigas going for the Rock Polish. Very interesting. That kind of reminds me of the Rock Polish Regigigas set you used to see in like some random battles for like Gen 6 and stuff, I think. So yeah, when I see that, I know already in advance that's weakness policy, but that kind of makes me think weakness policy anyway. I wouldn't bet it, but that's just something I would think perhaps. Gigalith gets Stealth Rocks up, very nice for Ron. Really gets him something he needs this game because he'll chip Cloyster, chip Landorus, chip Regice, a lot of the stuff that's going to be switching around a lot, especially with Slowbro losing Regenerator. That's really excellent to have. I'm not sure who does what here. Both these Pokemon don't really hurt each other that much, which I suppose is to Regigigas' advantage, right? So unless Gigalith can pull out a surprise, like maybe Rock Blast or like... There you see Regigigas catch the Toxic with Sup. So it looks like Gigalith might be a sitting duck here, unless it can do something really crazy. So I think Ron would probably switch this turn. I think Alfie is in a better position to use Regigigas now, right? Because some more stuff has happened. Some more damage has been dealt to Pokemon. But I wouldn't expect a full sweep for Regigigas at this point, even if he does get the slow start turns, which is a big if. So Gigalith's going for Rock Blast, so maybe he can break that sub, but Regigigas is just so fucking tanky, where I think he could even take 2 Rock Blasts easy, so he needs to get 3, even crack it, and that might not even crack it. And then even then he could just keep going for subs, right? The Sandstorm's kind of the only main thing hurting Regigigas here from getting more lefties, right? Like I just said, yeah, it can take 2 without a problem, right? Yeah, so I think Regigigas has kind of the upper hand here, certainly. Let's see, he goes for Power Punch. Oh, that's excellent. That's really good. Not only is Regigigas converting, not only is he getting up the slow start turns now, he's actually building more setup. That really does build his full team sweep potential. If it wasn't for Escadrille Sand Rush or Choice Scarf, potentially Choice Scarf Passimian, he's in real trouble. Those Rock Blasts, though, get a couple nice roll there with 4 hits and a crit. That's pretty nice. It's still not going to make the difference, especially now that Regigigas slow start turns ended. The question is, though, what's his last move, actually? I just thought about, because he has Protect and Sub and Power Punch, so what's his coverage move? Is it another normal move? Is it Earthquake? I don't know. Which makes the Gigalith switch a little questionable in my opinion, because now he's revealed Power Punch, where like maybe you can just keep dealing damage. It's always really hard to tell with Regigigas until you just know the full picture, right? So I don't want to criticize Ron too much there. It's just very hard to tell what Regigigas might do in these situations. Still hasn't revealed that last move, Anxiety Inducing. I'm going to assume it's Return, but then that means Gigalith or Excadrill is kind of an okay switching, because Power Punch shouldn't kill them yet. I'm not sure. I imagine Permanent is just going to get killed with like a normal move or something once Alfie's done stalling out for a little more time, a little more leftovers recovery. Yeah, I'm really curious to see what happens here. It's too bad, or maybe it's not too bad. I don't know how much damage it would have done. It would be really cool if Ron had a Sparkling Area on Primarina, because that could bypass the sub. I don't know if it would have killed at that range, but that would have been interesting, just to get more damage behind the sub. Don't know if it would have been that useful, though. Just would have been an interesting thing. Let's see. So it's Return for the final move. So, like, yeah, as Ron's picked up on, Gigalith can come in and take some more hits. And the Sands just is nice to cancel out leftovers, especially now that it's already set up. But we can see Regigigas still benefiting. Yeah, I guess this is the problem with not bringing a Ghost type. I don't know if Ron actually has one. Let me check, actually. I'll check right after this turn. Let's see. Rock Blast gets some more damage. Very nice. Sand damage. We'll pause there. Ron... Oh, that's interesting. I don't know if Alfie doesn't know if it was just being ballsy. I'd imagine it's just being ballsy. You're kind of like predictable, right? Because it's a form within a form type thing where like he can bring the Ghost type or a Choreo, but I think Alfie was just either very ballsy or I think just kind of, you know, somewhat wisely just went like, it's probably not going to come. And the payoff for having this power-up punch, normal stab Regigigas, as you can see, is immensely high, right? Because he can still get enough power to take out things like Gigalith and Excadrill eventually, and then the rest of the team just cripples to just kneels to normal. So it's like he can just spam that normal stab and get full protect sub, which made the setup so much more possible. That was excellent. He takes out Gigalith. Now Ron's in a bit of a tough spot, but I think he can bring out Excadrill with the likely Sand Rush, and this should be enough. Regigigas is bulky, but it's not that bulky where it can just take a Swords Day. I think that was way too much hubris there, especially since Regigigas is either just going to, sub or power up punch? Yeah, that's the misplay of the game from Ron right there. I did like a lot of what he was doing before, but I think that's a play that you just can't condone. Not to rag on him too much. But let's see, the game's not over, right? I know Simon's get taken out from here, and I know so clearly Ron's got something left up his sleeve. Passimian, I'd imagine Choice Scarf, right, especially he's bringing out now, or just either that's a slow Regigigas. Well, I mean, Ron wouldn't figure that. So yeah, that's probably a Choice Scarf Passimian, I'm just gonna say, right? Like, I'm not gonna go crazy trying to... Okay, okay, why do I say these things so confidently that I'm so wrong? I'm going to assume that's not Choice Scarf Toxic. I mean, that's not insane, but that would seem wrong. I really don't know why you wouldn't close combat here. Like, I don't see what the scenario... I think he's just doing that thing he was doing earlier where he's assuming Ron's done, or he's assuming Alfie's done, is going to switch to maybe like Slowbro or Toxic makes sense. But I think Ron is a little bit... I wouldn't say overestimating Alfie, because it's hard to say overestimating or underestimating, because, I mean... all plays to an extent are like sometimes being intentionally stupid to kind of like try catch your opponent off guard. But I do think he's being a little like too pessimistic there, where he's being like, oh well, he might switch. Like, no, Alfie just might give you the kill with Regigigas. But yeah, weird. So I guess that's a slower Regigigas or just a Choice Scarf Toxic. Imagine Choice Scarf Toxic, right? You don't run slow Regigigas usually, but I don't know, it can happen. Or you know what I'm saying, not slow, but like it's not max speed, because Passimian's a good bit slower than Regigigas. Normally it's like 80 to 100. Alright, so Landorus comes in, Cute Cat. Ron's got his Hydreigon out. He finally took out Regigigas. Let's see what happens. Switches out. That kind of makes sense. I guess if that's Choice Scarf, you don't want to take the U-turn, right? So I'd imagine that's what's happening. Oh, Superpower. So similar thing to U-turn, right? Even if it's not exactly that. Not a bad play on Ron's part. Really curious how this goes from here. I imagine he can maybe claim a kill with like Overheat or something, but it takes a lot of power to take out Landorus with an Overheat from Rhoda. Maybe Specs or Charcoal or something. But Will-O-Wisp. Okay, make it nice and passive. That's good. Little late in the game for that, sadly, but at least it won't threaten to kill Hydreigon, maybe, which is nice. And Alfie's team, as threatening as it is very frail, right, aside from like Slowbro and Regigigas, but that's not really a very long-term core. So it looks like Rotom, what's going to pull out? Foul Play, Overheat? Okay, Overheat. Good damage. A little sad that the Swords Dance cancels it out, and now he's Overheat. Should still kill it, which is good. Might not kill till after the burn damage though, but because that doesn't matter. All right, so he's taking it out. Ron, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Electric. Well, I'm not sure why Alfie went for Cloyster. I feel like the right move would there just be to hit Rotom with whatever you have, just to weaken it. I guess he just wanted to sack something. I'm not really sure what that was. I mean, he succeeded. Cloyster's out, but I would just keep Landorus. I don't see the drawback. Maybe if you're afraid of Rotom getting nasty plots, but Superpower was doing enough. It looked like where that wouldn't be a problem. All right, so Regice comes out. Nice to see ya. And I think this is probably the point where Regice can clean up looking at it right, because Rotom, even with Overheat, isn't going to kill Regice likely in one hit because it's fucking Regice. Like, its special defense is nearly Blissey tier. It's pretty insane. It goes for the Rock Polish, and yeah, I can just Ice Beam Hydreigon. The question is to get past Rumor. That shouldn't be hard because I think Regice gets Focus Blast, we can land one of those, or it could use Ancient Power if it opted for that, which it might have. I'm not sure what Alfie runs on this, so it'll be exciting to see. Goes for Ice Beam, almost 2-hit KO, not quite, so it looks like he has to reveal whatever coverage he has, which will be interesting. Obviously, Regice runs Ice Beam Thunderbolt. Okay, so maybe it is just Ice Beam Thunderbolt because it looks like it couldn't break the Rotom, and I didn't want to take the Overheat. Landorus comes out. The lucky dodge. You hate to see it, especially when things are already this bleak for Ron, but I think it might not matter because I don't know if Landorus can kill him in one hit or even as U-turn, so that would be... Alright, so there you go. It looks like he can't kill him. Okay, so that miss was unfortunate, but I don't know if it was game deciding. Maybe, because this Rotom has such a good defensive matchup against Alfie's Mons. It's kind of insane. I wonder if that miss not happening with Overheat could have won him the game, looking at his team. I'm going to say probably not, because he did probably some like Toxic Stall thing, right, that could have worked against Rotom, especially because it's relying on Overheat to deal damage, but I don't know. With the wrong sets from Alfie's part, that Rotom maybe could have saved the game. I might have to look at the pace later, but yeah. I'm going to say Alfie still had in the bag just to be conservative, but that miss was very unfortunate. So obviously goes for Overheat. I don't blame Ron for going big at this point because things are looking bleak anyway, but it does give him the weakness policy, which should let him handily win. I guess it didn't matter either way. He just needed the Rock Polish so he could outspeed Hydreigon, which to be fair, probably killed anyway unless it was like mixed superpower. But yeah, very well played on Alfie's part. Did what he needed to do most of the time. Just some small questionable things, and those questionable things I think from Alfie were already when the game was mostly decided in his favor, whereas sadly Ron's questionable moves like bringing out Extra Joel Swords Dance or like even Toxic with Passimian, those were the moves that shifted the game in Alfie's favor, sadly. Still a great game. Very interesting teams from both sides. Interesting sets. I'm really wondering what that Passimian was. I'll have to look if it's Choice Scarf Toxic or just fast with that Regigigas being slow. That's very interesting. Yeah, very fun game to watch. Enjoyed it a lot. I think Ron made some changes based on that game. Or not maybe not based on that game, but maybe want to change stuff anyway. But, yeah. Let's see. Trades. I think it's just one trade, actually. I might have overstated it. Ron dropped... Yeah, you dropped... Wait, oh, that's old. Never mind. I'm cutting this whole segment. Never mind. Ignore what I just said. There's an awkward cut there. I said something stupid. Anyway, yeah, fantastic game. Loved watching it, and looking forward to where these two go in the future. Alfie especially being a former champion, but also Ron being a all-time great, I would say, of UNC that has somehow still never managed to get a championship. So I'm always rooting for Ron in that sense. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed watching this. I think I will also be doing try to get a recap out for a Silver League game because just to give equal attention. So that should be fun. I elected not to do the Declan Ken game, despite that being one of my favorites, just in terms of how interesting and crazy it was, because it's 114 fucking turns. I would definitely not turn really slow on for that one. But, yeah, I'm sure that'll get its due in time. But, fun game to check out if you want to go see it. A lot of great games for the week one. I feel like the division idea has been excellent for this league, because I feel like all of our week one games were just excellent. There wasn't a lot of washouts, except for one notable washout, but I'll have a video on that too. So yeah, hope you enjoyed watching. Take care.